Cost of Victory, Book 1 of the Unseen Scar series by C.R. Saxon. Chapter 21. Time was running out. 2 days. People arrived in 2 days. Pathways were constructed, costumes arrived yesterday, everyone memorized their parts. For the first time in months, nothing occupied Ferdinand's mind. Oya disappeared, most likely finding new and interesting ways of cheating death with the cuffs. Everyone else was dismissed for the evening. It was hours too early for bed. His coursework was completed. Everything that could be done with one person was finished. Scouring the cube was appealing, but Ferdinand couldn't afford being tempted by a new project right now, and that cube held so much inspiration. So the skeleton sat on the edge of the stage, looking out over the seating. An odd sound floated in. It was faint, sounding far away. Standing, he searched for the source. Louder it grew as he wandered down the hall. Crying? Someone's crying? But why? One classroom door was open. When he reached it, the crying became wails. Groans and screams of agony. They assaulted his ears. He tried leaving but sank instead. Fighting, struggling against the blood-soaked quicksand. Hands grabbed him. Countless hands. They pulled, dragging him below. And above. Ferdinand's face contorted. Master Mingjing. She was frail, exactly as the last time they talked, a matter of hours before. But her voice, when grandmother spoke, it wasn't weak and raspy. It was hard and angry. Enjoying my granddaughter? Are you happy having taken her away from me as well? My granddaughter, my son, and my life. I'm sorry, Ferdinand pleaded, but it didn't matter. He couldn't change any of it. Not then. Definitely not now. Will nothing satisfy you? Those green rings glowed against dark irises. I gave you everything I had. How could you take so much and still demand more? An endless chorus of voices in death masks joined her, all demanding the same thing. Why weren't their lives, their deaths enough? Why did he take their children, their spouses, their parents, their friends? Why was he still taking more? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Ferdinand cried. I'd trade my life to bring them back. I want to bring you back. How great do you consider yourself? Grandmother sneered. How could someone as pathetic and useless as you be worth all of us? How could one as worthless as you pay the price for even one of us? He pleaded out an apology, but was dragged under. Rancid, gritty blood filled his mouth and belly. He couldn't see, couldn't scream. Skeleton hands shook him, wrenched him, jerked him, forcing the life from him. Wake up! Zhao shook Ferdinand violently, panicked from the inhuman shriek. Those blue-black eyes were scared witless. John yelled too, trying to pull the Z away from his ally, only to be shrugged off. Dilated blue crystals burst open, startling Zhao further. Pulling away from the science lead, Ferdinand nearly fell off the chair, but the table caught him. The skeleton went transparent, sweat beaded on see-through skin. In the next heartbeat, he dashed away. Wait! Zhao grabbed Ferdinand and turned his younger peer to face him. Zhao, don't, John warned. No! Ferdinand struggled, teeth clenched, skin taking on a green hue. Adrenaline hijacked Zhao's brain. Calm down, it's me! They struggled until both regretted it. John jumped out of the way in time, but Zhao stood stunned, not releasing the boy in his grasp. Renewing his efforts, Ferdinand broke free of the vice grip. Zhao watched helplessly as Ferdinand dashed to the storage area in the back of his lab. Am I really covered in vomit? Didn't you see how pale and clammy he was? I was focused on the screaming. Zhao's face twisted. This is disgusting. I guess I can trust him to eat when I can't babysit. John tried lightening the situation. There's a shower in my lab. You can rinse off. Thanks, I'll do that. Then burn these clothes. Do you have any clean scouring sponges? A bit melodramatic. John folded his arms, eyebrow raised. There wasn't much to scrub off. Has this happened before? Why do you ask? The sounds of painful retching made John flinch. I guess he wasn't finished. We'll talk later. While Zhao left to scald off a few layers of skin, John headed to the bathroom at the back of the closet. The door was locked. Heaving a sigh, he leaned his back against it, sliding to the ground. There he sat, waiting for silence to fall. It isn't your fault, John started. How many times had this happened at the hospital? Nightmares of the dead. He didn't understand. Those people, you couldn't have saved them. Please believe me. No response came. Ferdinand, speak to me, John demanded, only to be answered by silence. Ferdinand, I'll break this door down. Nothing. In the end, John didn't break down the door. He removed the hinge pins. With his ally taken care of, John returned to his lab. Zhao sat waiting for him in nothing but a towel, looking the lead over. Like most students with a lab, John kept clothes here for when he spent the night. However, there wasn't much hope of the older, broader child fitting into anything he owned. Ferdinand's clothes were out of the question entirely. Don't worry about it. I'll head to my lab in a bit. He spoke as if reading John's mind. Is he okay? You came pretty fast. Oya showed up. Ah, what was that about? Zhao gave one of the few serious looks he ever managed. You know what's going on. He has nightmares. Sometimes they're intense. For how long? John shook his head. He couldn't say too much, but if he didn't offer enough, the lead would keep pestering them. I don't know. I learned about them when we were gone. What are they about? Zhao was a good gent, but too nosy. When dealing with anyone other than Ferdinand, this was fine. I'm tired of dodging questions for him. Why do I have to be the one dealing with Ferdinand all the time? You think he'd tell me? Yeah, he's pretty secretive. How can I help? Don't tell anyone. Looking at you tomorrow will be hard enough for him. If he thinks you've said anything, I doubt he'll come to practice. Or the show. Will I be able to get him to eat? He won't look at me either. What causes the bad dreams? I don't know, John lied. Was he dwelling on that again? He gets worse when he isn't busy. Let's keep him on his toes then.